everyone, and welcome to the Daily Blu. I'm Karin Caro, and today I really have a very special guest, a dear friend of mine, Mr. Bob Policastro, who founded Angela's House, a man that I love to talk about because he's inspiring. He's a wonderful husband and father, but just such a presence on Long Island, helping hundreds of families on Long Island. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Karin.
This man, like I said, helps hundreds of families on Long Island and started Angela's House over 22 years ago when you went through your own tough circumstance with your wife, with your first child. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's actually 25 years ago with my daughter this coming August.
Right.
And basically was a tremendous accident at birth, but threw me into the world that I now try to help others with, where you don't know what to do.
Right.
You know, your child is clinging to life, and you're trying to figure out where you're going from that moment. That's hard, and that's what's changed my life forever, and that's why I want to be there for other parents.
Right. You've been instrumental in guiding parents to helping them in what way they can help their child. So you serve as a mentor, but you also have 3 Angela's houses that house children with medical needs, right?
Yeah, those were alternatives, because when a parent can't take their child home,
right.
When a child was unfortunately living in a hospital or a nursing home or far away from Long Island, we wanted to have that alternative here on Long Island. And opening up the new one, which is the one that can handle the kids that are ventilator dependent, has been just a dream. It's just beautiful. And it also gives me even more confidence when I'm dealing with the other parents to know that now we can basically handle all kids in our residences. And I think that that's important, because you never want to tell someone just because they get the medical condition changes or worse, and that I never want to tell them we can't take care of them anymore.
Right.
So now we know,
we
can, and we're showing to New York State and so many others that it can be done. It doesn't have to be a institutional or hospital setting in order to care for kids like that.
What are the other options on Long Island? I mean,
some of the kids do go into nursing homes, but it's difficult.
Right.
You know, it's we try to make that home warm environment for them.
Playgrounds.
You know, that home away from home, as I would often say. But yet then we have all the medical needs and equipment and resources at the houses. But you know, it's kind of comfortable when you can go out to a den or a living room.
Right.
Versus kind of not having the freedom in an institutional setting. So that was kind of our concept from the beginning. And it's also not overly large, so you don't get kind of
lost
with many hundreds of people that you often see in nursing homes.
But Bob, that raises another question, because you have 3 houses, one in Center Moriches, one in Smithtown, and the newest one in Stony Brook. But you can only help those people in that house a limited number. So you're going to have to open these houses in every town.
It's tough, because I see the needs out there.
Yeah.
And the needs, especially after we care for a lot of the kids that are in home care. Because home care, the last 2 years, we've helped over 600 kids a year. But a lot of those kids each year age out. And what I mean by age out is once you hit 18, you qualify automatically for Medicaid and then adult services. And that's when we kind of hand over the children to adult services. Mm-hmm. But in situations like that, because of either the child's weight or the inability for parents to do it anymore, it's kind of hitting a crisis level.
Wow.
And that's where I have a major concern. And I do feel a nursing home can do this and do it right. I just think it's a matter of, making it comfortable.
Right. Yeah, they can handle it.
Not as institutional looking.
Right.
Make programs to support the kids. Make it more of a home environment.
What you're saying is, you and I both have children, collectively 8 together. These children deserve that family setting and environment to feel at home.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's been my feeling from the beginning, because one of the first things I noticed when I couldn't take my daughter home and we started looking around at hospitals and some of the nursing homes, we saw kids stuck in rooms, and it broke my heart.
Yeah.
And I said, never.
Right.
You know, I just can't. I can't do that. You know, I was going out of state and to other facilities. I said,
Right.
it shouldn't be that way. Kids deserve, you know, almost like that. You know, I always think when I was growing up, that standard Saturday morning when everybody wakes up, go around the TV. That was kind of the thought I had.
Yeah, that is what it feels like there.
Or even, you know, in the afternoon or a certain time at night when everybody gets around in that den and will be around the television or music or whatever.
Right.
That was
Healthy family environment.
That's what I wanted. And I have found that making the small environments make it comfortable.
Right.
The needs are great.
Right.
But you know, there's been a lot of cuts in New York State, so I don't know what our next move is going to be with some of the new residences because they've cut so much funding and they're not even talking about releasing funding for a while, so it's tough.
Well, that brings me to another point because you were recently awarded from the 100 Women Who Care About Long Island a significant monetary award, and those types of things are what helps Angela's House because you can't depend on the state funds or.
It's so true. Going right along with that mission, with our new house, we want to go above and beyond. So when we're decorating rooms, you know, my kids always say they're nicer than even our rooms. I want it to be that way. I want people when they see it, because I want the kids to have a colorful environment, especially kids that are kind of confined to wheelchairs or you know, do spend some time in their bedroom and so on. But on the other side of that, our new home actually borders wooded area.
Right.
Now, 7 of the 8 kids came from hospitals and nursing homes, and I said, you know what, I want to give them an outside environment that's above and beyond. So what we're doing is, and I mean, we're reaching out to volunteers, people donating, and this was very generous because it was very helpful because we can't always get donations to cover everything. But to make a long story short, what we're doing is we're making a playground set in the backyard, which will both be for wheelchair accessible, specialty swings to regular swings for the siblings. And then we're also putting a path through the wooded area.
Okay.
And along that path, we're going to have different areas where you can stop and sit in a garden area or stop and sit under a pergola swing or something like that.
That's beautiful.
And I tell you, we've had some great, you know, donors that are helping to make this possible. We just cleared the property through a lot of people that came and helped, you know, cutting all the shrubby bushes. We're keeping all the trees because I love the beauty of the trees.
Right.
But now from the house you can see into the forest. And the kids loved it. Just the other day there was a baby deer out there and the kids were really excited to see the deer out. And I'm hoping we can, when you're sitting in the woods, there's a peacefulness to it, which I know that these kids have never experienced before.
Right.
I mean,
or the parents, their life is chaotic.
Right. So I'm really looking forward to that. And this donation's going to help make that possible because, you know, I'll be making a nice gardens in the areas, and I think it's going to be beautiful.
Well, that organization, 100 Women Who Care About Long Island, supports local Long Island charities that are viable, truthful. I mean, they do an extensive background and research and collaboration on the charities that they choose. It's really kind of cool because a bunch of women get in a room and you speak about the charity that you would like to be awarded the money, and at the end of the night all of the women take out their checkbook and donate right there on the spot. So to be awarded that night, and it's kind of a surprise to you because all of a sudden you had several $1,000s that now you can do things like that. And
it was wonderful.
It's remarkable.
Because it's going to help make this dream of creating, because we were so busy opening up the house in the early fall last year that we just finished the back. We didn't even start on anything.
Well, it was years that you were trying to develop that house.
It's sad, 8 years.
Yeah, 8 years.
Know? And we never, you know, we didn't want to spend certain money because 8 years, all I needed was another delay on top of that, and I didn't want to hold it up.
Right.
I didn't want to ask for money, which I couldn't use yet.
Right.
So as soon as we got our feet on the ground and kids moved in, it was like, all right, here, let's get started. So I started reaching out to the Boy Scouts, trying to get some grants to help us, and then I appreciate your help with, you know, telling the 100 women that, you know, was a great donation that's going to help make this backyard possible.
I'm so happy. I just could picture the families enjoying that. One of the things I love about Angela's house is that we spoke about the home environment, but the fact that the siblings and families come there, and it's a huge relief and feeling of support. Like you're entering your own home, that's theirs, but the fact that they can bring the families, you've made it conducive to a regular family as well, so that siblings can come and enjoy it and feel like, hey, this is where my sister stays, and we're family.
You know, sometimes I take for granted, my everyday experiences of what I see and hear, and I guess in sharing, we're talking about a playground and it's nice, but part of the motivations of all this was knowing that these kids were in very restrictive environments.
Right. And
last fall, we had all the kids from Stony Brook go over to the Smithtown house, which we had in a playground there, and two of the kids went on the playground. And it didn't even dawn on me, because one was 12 at the time. And she had this look on her face as she was sitting right in front of it, almost like not sure what to do. Mm-hmm. And it didn't click with me yet.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I said, she probably has never been on a swing. She probably has no idea like
wow.
how to sit, And
Right.
then I finally told her, you could sit. It won't swing from you. It was a bench swing that we had. We were trying to make sure that this type of swing would work for her but I didn't realize she had never been on a swing. And then all of a sudden you see her face as she's sitting on that swing. And then the other one, we used her wheelchair. She has a motorized chair, and it's a wheelchair ramp swing. And she went right up on the ramp, and she didn't want to leave. She was just swinging away.
She was so happy there.
Was happy. And
that is unbelievable. That is great.
I refer to it as kind of like the firsts.
Right.
And now giving these kids, so I know with some of them that didn't go on the swing that day, when we built the swing, it's going to be the first time they've ever been on a swing, and it's going to be just a cherished moment.
Sure.
To going above and beyond to give these kids something we feel they deserve.
Yeah, something that we take for granted. So I encourage everybody, if you're listening to Bob's story, to go to any of the events that you run, where you do get to meet many times the families that are involved and hear some of the stories. It's really rewarding and also the last event that you had back in March, to hear you put on these kids singing, that little boy singing was really cute. I love you just the way you are, he sang. Just beautiful moments.
That was very beautiful.
A couple things that are coming up. You have a golf outing coming up in August, the Pace Golf Outing, August 25th.
Right.
And then you have the fishing trip,
on
which
22nd,
which I love. Again, family events this weekend at White Post Farms on Saturday. The families can come down and again meet the other families.
Our second year, we try to do family events, and what I mean by family is we feel it's a unit, and we don't want kids or parents to be separate. We want something where the Angela's house child, the siblings, which I think is very important. I don't want the kids to get lost in any of this.
Excluded.
And then, of course, the parents.
Right.
And then we were graciously, given many free tickets to let the families come.
From the White Post family,
and then we have a lot of parents, they'll pay extras, whether it's friends or grandparents that come too. But it's beautiful because White Post Farms is very accessible.
Right.
So the wheelchairs can get right up to the animals.
Right.
And it's like just a very relaxing day where they can, and then we get food and...
I'm picturing a picture of you I took last year of you and a camel. That camel was picking on you. It's just a very family-friendly atmosphere, and for the community to be able to meet some of the families and see what they're doing just by going to an event like that. And the fishing trip is another one. Last year you sent out, it was 3 boats?
3 boats.
3 full boats.
Which is a lot of fun. I love seeing some of the photos. Because we give out T-shirts, and a lot of people have gotten to the point, as soon as they get them, they're putting them on. Yeah. So when you see the other boats in the water,
green
it's all the color of the T-shirts.
I love it.
And it's cute.
It's a phenomenal event, and golf outing, I think a lot of people are used to going to golf outings. It's great to get on the golf course and network, and those are always great. But the events that you build around your your original plan of what the family unit and being together. It's just extraordinary. Please, everyone, if you are listening, go to www.angelashouse.org and you can get a full schedule of the events or what's happening in the Angela's House community. And I know that people can reach out to you directly on the site, Mr. Bob Policastro. I'm really happy that you're here today. Congratulations on the 100 Women Who Care.
Thank you very much.
And anything else coming up we should be aware of?
Well, we're working on a few things in the fall. I'm hoping, that we'll lock something in. But until then, probably the biggest thing we have during the summer, which you can also see on the website, is our Race for Kids.
Yeah.
We've been very fortunate to the Krantz family from St. James has done multiple things for us. They race cars with our name on them and our logo on the cars and help to promote the name and what it's about. I still, every day, it's always difficult to have people understand there's no elevator speech to really explain what it's all about.
Right.
I always tell people, and I think tonight when I talk to, in front of everybody, I'll use the one thing I always say about, where do you think the Make-A-Wish kids go?
Right.
After they get that trip or whatever. But the Krantz family, we're not only racing, but they also help us, another family event at the end of the holiday party. Which has come to a point where it's a 2-day event because we can't get everybody.
Right.
So it's over 800 people. And they help us do everything from getting entertainment, gifts for kids, and even parents. And it's a beautiful experience. It's great for the family. So this Krantz family and Krantz Motorsports have been just beautiful for us to do this for.
What's interesting about what some of the people have done in the community is they use their own talent, but with a sense of passion and heart to help the medically frail children and families of Angela's House. And that's what the Krantz family has done. They have a passion for the racing, and I know they're significant donors in their own business. They always donate for raffles and things like that, just a really philanthropic family. And I think if the community knows that they can think about themselves introspectively and say, hey, we can set up our own thing, whether it's baking goods or...
And it's so true, because try to stress with people all the time that the littlest of thing can make such a difference.
Yeah.
Because we're constantly getting new families.
Right.
Every week we hear about a new child, whether they're in the hospital or they might even be out of state or never heard of anybody out there that can help them. So it is important that it's not only raising money, it's potentially somebody else might hear about, and that's going to help a child out there, which is very important.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, how people help. I mentioned the backyard. I'm having such a good time when I see some of the different groups of kids. This year, we had groups of kids redo like one side of our property in Angela's House in Smithtown. Beautiful project with a nice garden on the corner, because we're right on Brookside Drive.
Right.
The one right before that one, someone did a Boy Scout did a waterfall in the backyard, which sensory is just beautiful, especially for the kids that are very limited. And then we got, with the new house and with that backyard project, we got gardens that will be done by Boy Scouts and other groups.
It's wonderful.
So it's nice seeing kids, making that extra effort to try to help in another way.
Absolutely. So again, encourage your family and friends to find out more about Angela's House and get involved. It's a really family, and you're inviting people to get involved and know and help others, and I don't think there's anything better than that. So as I started the segment off with a person that is inspiring and wonderful, this man, Bob Policastro, I thank you for stopping here today. You're one of my favorite people on Long Island, you know that. So thank you, everyone, for learning a little bit about Angela's House. And if you want to get in touch, please remember to visit the website, www.angelashouse.org. Thanks so much, Bob.
Thank you, Cory.